The new Inquisitor from the Kenobi series, also known as the Third Sister, will be the most powerful Inquisitor we have ever seen in Star Wars. Here is why. So for sure, she definitely seems to be the main Inquisitor from the series based on the trailer footage. She was definitely shown the most in that trailer, so going off that, we can assume she'll be the one shown the most in the series. And how can she be like a competent villain for Obi-Wan if he just easily beats her every single time? She's gonna have to be able to put up some kind of fight against him. And out of all the other Inquisitors we've seen so far, the only other one that should be able to put up some kind of fight would be maybe the Grand Inquisitor, but I don't even know if he would. So that's one of the reasons why I think she could be the most powerful. But do I want her to be? I'll get into that at the end once I've given you the rest of the reasons why I think she'll be the strongest one yet. The second reason why I think she'll be the most powerful is that if we see Inquisitors that don't have some kind of special title like Grand in front of their name be more powerful than the Grand Inquisitor, then it doesn't put a power limit on any of the Inquisitors we see in any future stories, because if the Grand Inquisitor is the Grand Inquisitor because he's the most powerful, then we know every Inquisitor we see will be less powerful than him, and that means no future Inquisitor can be more powerful than a slightly amped Season 1 Kanan Jarrus from Star Wars Rebels, because he defeated the Grand Inquisitor, and Season 1 Kanan isn't the strongest Star Wars character for sure. For example, Cal Kestis midway through Jedi Fallen Order is probably somewhere similar to the level of Kanan by the end of the game when he's remembered more of the abilities that he had when he was a Padawan. I'd argue that in a fight alone he's stronger than Kanan ever was. So in the Jedi Fallen Order sequel, if he's only facing people as strong as Kanan at the most, then he's gonna walk through that game very, very easily. And story-wise, that's not a good thing. I mean, you could make the argument to put him up against Vader, but he's nowhere near Vader level. There needs to be Inquisitors more powerful than the Grand Inquisitor, but less powerful than Vader for him to fight in the Jedi Fallen Order sequel. Thirdly, I think it also makes sense story-wise, because even if he was given the title Grand because he was the strongest Inquisitor, that doesn't guarantee that he will always be the strongest. We know in Star Wars that midichlorian count equals potential, not current power. So if, when he became the Grand Inquisitor, he was the strongest of them all, but some other Inquisitors actually had a higher midichlorian count, then after enough training and experience, they are sure to surpass him. So maybe the Third Sister has a higher midichlorian count, but she wasn't trained enough or experienced enough or knowledgeable enough to be stronger than him at this point, but by the time of the Kenobi series, she is now stronger than him. I think that makes a lot of sense story-wise to allow Inquisitors to be stronger than the Grand Inquisitor in future stories, like I just mentioned, Jedi Fallen Order for example. But before I get into the fourth point, if you're enjoying this video so far, then let me know by leaving a like on it. If you're new around here and you want more videos like this, subscribe, and if you want some cool Star Wars merch, then check the link in the description to Fandomian. They make some really good stuff, and use code MASTER2187 with no space in between for 10% off. The fourth thing is that all of the details that we know about Reva, the Third Sister, is that she is the most evil of all of the Inquisitors. People have come out and said that the Inquisitors in this series are more evil than we've seen them before, specifically this new Third Sister character, and I mean, even in the trailer, we do see that she's kind of doing some bad stuff. Someone is hung up on something dangling, we all know what's probably happened there, and what we know about the dark side of the Force is the more immersed you are in it, the stronger you become. Now that doesn't mean that the dark side of the Force is more powerful than the light side of the Force. I believe Yoda just describes it as a quicker way to become more powerful.
Is the dark side stronger?
No. But the busier, more seductive.
But the cap on how powerful you can become, I don't know, maybe that's level, or potentially the light side even higher, I don't know. But whenever we see people turn to the dark side, the further turned they are, the more powerful they are. For example, Anakin Skywalker. I'd also argue Count Dooku and Asajj Ventress fit that category. I mean, even Rey in The Rise of Skywalker, if you consider her in that movie starting her journey towards the dark side, she did use Force Lightning for the first time, which shows that she became more powerful potentially. And another great example is definitely Savage Opress in the Clone Wars. I don't know much about Palpatine and Maul turning to the dark side, but I know that they weren't Jedi beforehand, so it's not like they were with the light and then turned dark. And as for Kylo Ren, he never fully immersed in the dark side, so I didn't mention those three. So if what I've just said there is true, the more immersed you are, the stronger you are. If she is the most immersed, she will be even stronger than if she wasn't as immersed, like the Seventh Sister, Fifth Brother, Grand Inquisitor, that are still very evil, but potentially not as much. The fifth reason is that Obi-Wan needs a very strong reason for him to leave Tatooine, right? So the stronger the Inquisitor on Tatooine, the larger the threat to Luke Skywalker, therefore the larger the reason for Obi-Wan to draw the Inquisitor, or Inquisitors it looks like from the trailer, off of Tatooine, because the more likely she or they are to sense Luke's presence on the planet. Now, do I want this to happen? Do I want her to be the strongest Inquisitor of all time? Yeah, kind of. Let me explain. As much as I like the Grand Inquisitor and I want him to appear like really powerful, I did briefly mention earlier that his death to Kanan was an amped version of Kanan, and what I mean by that is that he fought significantly better than he did throughout the rest of Rebels Season 1, where he got destroyed by the Grand Inquisitor every time because he thought that Ezra had died. He also had Ezra's lightsaber, again another advantage. So given what I said about him wiping the floor with Kanan in every other fight in Rebels Season 1, and that just being a one-off win, I think I'm happy, for the benefit of future Star Wars stories, for there to be a more powerful Inquisitor than the Grand Inquisitor, and in the Kenobi series it's probably going to be the third sister, which I'm more than happy with. This is only a theory, remember? Maybe she'll be more powerful, maybe she won't. But if you like theories, then why don't you check out 40 of them in one video? Yes, 40. In fact, it's actually over 40, as I made a theory from every single shot of the Kenobi trailer. That's not an exaggeration. If that sounds interesting, check it out. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in that video, and goodbye.